Phantom, and alarms. It was in high school when these incidents happened. The house my father lived in at the time was old, built in the early 1800s, and filled with terrifying experiences. There were times when I would be sitting in the living room, and I would hear the cabinets opening and closing in the kitchen. I was alone with my father in the house, and I could see when his bedroom door was shut, and he was asleep, but the sounds continued to terrify me. One night, my father was working until 11, and I was 17 at the time. I was sitting in my room playing a game when I heard footsteps coming from the living room. Assuming my father had come home early, I went back to playing. But the footsteps continued, pacing back and forth between the living room and the kitchen, in a steady rhythm. Scared out of my wits, I counted the steps and realized it took 15 paces to the living room and 15 back to the kitchen. I couldn't sleep that night. Another terrifying incident happened in my mother's house, 2 years prior to this. My alarm clock went off at midnight every night, and I assumed it was busted and got rid of it. Fast forward 2 years, my mother got me another, brand new alarm clock, but the same thing happened. The clock went off at midnight, and then again the next night. I checked and made sure no alarms were set, but it still went off. That next night, my father had me, and my friend came over. We heard an alarm clock coming from my room, even though my friend had not set any alarm. As soon as I picked up the clock, it set itself to 12 o'clock and turned off by itself. It was a paranormal experience, and even though I'm not religious, I'm 100% convinced that it was real.